Hi everyone, this video is for English 104 week 2. I just want to go over our activities and assignments this week, give you kind of an overview. So let me take a moment and share my screen with you. We're going to review some things to make sure you understand what you need to do. Of course, as in all weeks, the first thing you should do is look at the task list. This tells you what you need to do to complete the activities or to complete this particular module. And let's just review the activities and assignments in this particular video. Just a reminder, all kinds of resources up here. So as you're going through this and you get stuck or you're not quite sure what something means, be sure to look up here at these resources because they are built in and meant to help you with accomplishing or obtaining what you want to do on your assignment for this module for this week. So the first assignment is, actually the only one, is the discussion forum, and it's your research topic through keywords and questions. So you just click into this discussion forum. There's quite a bit of criteria on this. So be sure to read through this thoroughly and in detail to make sure you meet all criteria if you want full credit on this particular assignment or activity. So the purpose of this is to start looking at your experiences with research, start interacting with your peers, and basically I want a fresh start with you. No matter what your experience has been with research or writing in the past, we want to make that as positive as possible, and going forward it helps me to understand where you're coming from and your experiences. So that's part of the reason for this particular forum. However, your peers are also going to be interacting with you on this forum. So step one, when you are posting to the forum, the step one is answer these questions within your forum post. So you can see the bullet points. All of these questions need to be addressed within your posting. You are welcome to do a copy and then paste. However, when you do copy paste on that, I want you to differentiate the question from your answer. And what I mean by that is, okay, if I'm going to do a copy paste, then make sure your questions are just like this, but when you do your answer after each one, use bold font or maybe a color that we can easily identify with what your answer is versus the question. It just makes it easier reading for the reader. And then step two, after you've done that within your post, you are going to go below it and you are going to choose 3 potential controversial or debatable topics. So 3 things you're thinking about, 3 controversial, debatable topics that you are interested in writing about this semester. So I'm gonna give you a heads up. Make sure you look at kind of the overview, look at some of the resources. I do not want you to pick too big of a topic for our small paper. This paper is gonna be, roughly 8 pages. So shy away from the big ones. I do not want to see anything on abortion. I don't want to see anything on capital punishment. Yes, absolutely, those are controversial. However, those are much too large of topics to cover in our small paper. So be thinking about topics. I want you to have 3 potential controversial or debatable topics that you would consider being interested in writing about this semester. Pick something of a high interest. I am also going to ask you to refrain from anything relating to marijuana or the legal use of marijuana, only because I get 1,000 of those a semester. So think of something that you are interested in other than that. And make it personal. What is something you're going to want to be reading about for the next semester? Because you're going to have to do a heavy amount of research. So anyways, list 3 potential or controversial debatable topics. So you answer these questions, you list 3 topics you're interested in controversial writing about this semester. When you choose your topic, think about these things. You have an interest in it, but you don't know a lot about it. It is debatable, which means it has 2 sides to it. You're going to have to find scholarly sources on this. That's going to be a requirement. So if you know that this is kind of a offbeat thing or you're not going to be able to find sources, shy away from it. And then of course you understand you're going to have to write about both sides, not just your opinion and what you think about it, but you're also going to have to oppose or address the opposing side, counter argument. Then after you have the questions and you've given your answers, you've listed your 3 controversial or debatable topics, then the next one is underneath each of the topics that you have chosen, each of those 3, list at least 1 research question and 3 keywords associated with that topic. So create your research questions starting with the words why, what, how, when, where, or who. These are meant to, okay, this is where you might start your researching on that particular topic. They need to be open-ended questions, which means they're not maybe easily answered by a concrete fact. So they're meant to prompt you in thinking about that topic so that you are exploring all areas of that topic. Keywords are important because you think of these that come to mind in your topic, and this might be keywords or phrases that you're going to be using when you start searching or researching, whether it be in the databases or online. So, step 1, questions and answer. Step 2, below your questions and answers, you are going to list 3 potential topics. And then below each of those topics, you have 1 research question and 3 keywords associated with each one. Word of warning, don't repeat it for all 3. They all need to be unique and individual to that particular topic. So that's 1, 2, 3. Step 4, post. So you have all of those items and then you post it on the forum. And now your peers, your classmates, and myself are going to read what you have posted. Step 5, go back into the forum and click into one of your classmates' posts and you need to reply to it. You need to respond in the following manner right here. You are going to reply with an additional open-ended research question and 2 more terms for them related to the research topic that they provided in the post. So you go through, you read theirs, and then you're going to give them, by reply in their post, you're going to respond with 1 more open-ended research question and 2 more key terms that they can use for each of the topics that they posted. Okay? So open-ended research question, 2 terms for each of those topics. So 3 questions, 1 for each topic, and then 6 terms, 2 for each topic that they posted. Okay? So then post it on their forum. So you replied to their forum. In order to receive full credit for this assignment, you have to have your original post with everything included, and you also have to reply with everything included. Okay, if you want the 100% credit for this. Grading, this is how the grading structure, this is the rubric I'm going to use. I'm going to be looking for all of these elements. And then, of course, the due date. The due date for this posting is Sunday, September 20th, 1 minute before midnight. So you are going to do that posting. You should have no issue with it. However, of course, if you have any questions or concerns, you are always welcome to reach out to me. So let me stop sharing on that. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go back. I'm going to share screen one more time. I just forgot to point out something to you. So this is the only activity assignment for this particular week, or week 2. However, you'll see a second listing right here, your research topic to previews and questions forum grade. When you click into this, it's going to tell you just ignore it. It's a placeholder. This is where I put the grade for the forum. You don't have to do anything here. This is all me. So even though there are 2 and it's a repeat, it looks like the same thing twice, you are only doing your posting in the discussion forum. The other one is for me, so you can ignore this one right here. The other thing I do want to point out is lots of resources. You really should be going in and start looking for these. At this point, we're in the brainstorming stage for topics. If you don't have any idea what you want to write about, look through these things. When you click in, they give you hot links to other things. So for example, if you want a sneak peek at the first major writing assignment, you're going to have the research proposal. You can take a look at that. I'm not officially assigning it yet, but this is why we are doing a lot of this pre-work, all of this work scaffolds up to the assignments which scaffold into the major essay. So it's very important you stay on top of these things. Review all of these resources. That's why there's only one assignment this week, because you should spend a lot of time going through these resources, just getting familiar with them so that you can either come back to them at another point or use them to complete your assignment for this week. So, okay, I'm going to stop share. I hope I have sufficiently covered the information to make you feel comfortable with week 2. As always, reach out to me via email or text message. Happy to answer questions. Don't forget, in our Moodle page, I also have hot links, Zoom office hours. During those days and times, you're welcome to click on those, and we can chat live about any issues that you have. Have a great week, and happy writing.